What is up, everyone? It is a beautiful, perfect day out here today, and it has been a month since I put my milkweed in the fridge. And I think today we're gonna go ahead and plant them in our seed trays and see if we can get some milkweed to grow this year. On top of doing the milkweed, I think we're going to plant some onion sets that I bought since my onion seeds were a big fat flop. And yeah, we'll see what else we can get into today. Alrighty guys, so we are starting with a few varieties of milkweed here that I've just pulled out of the fridge from cold stratifying them. Essentially all I did was take a few of the seeds out of the seed packet, put them in some moist paper towel, and I just put them in the back of my fridge. Here I'm just kind of checking to make sure that all of the seeds look good and that there's no mold growing on these seeds. So here I'm just starting by placing some of the milkweed seeds on the surface because that is what they like. They need light to germinate, and on the packet it says to just lightly press them into the soil so that they have contact with the soil, and then they will germinate from there. Some of the varieties of milkweed that we are growing this year are the rose milkweed variety, the butterfly milkweed, the narrow leaf milkweed, and then lastly a blend called the irresistible blend, and most of these are from botanical interests. Okay, and something else I'm gonna try is some columbine that I've been cold stratifying in the fridge for a couple weeks now. So we're gonna go ahead and do them the same way by just gently pushing them into the soil and see if we can get some germination. And these columbine seeds are itty bitty. That's really where my handy dandy tweezers come in, which definitely were not taken from a discarded lac tray at work. Definitely not. But yeah, let's get started. Now milkweed is very particular, along with other wildflowers, on how they like to be sown. It actually is better to sow them in the fall because they need to be cold stratified to be able to germinate, which is why I had them in the freezer. I had them in the fridge. So that is supposed to be mimicking that cold time. And then they like to be laid on the top according to the Eden brothers and just pushed in the soil. So I guess you can imagine in the wild, the plant drops the seed, and then like an animal were to walk over the seed, pushing it into the soil. I guess that's how it works. Okay, and lastly, we're going to start Bells of Ireland. I put these in the fridge around the same time, and their seeds look like kind of like little chocolate chips. But yeah, let's see if we can get some germination out of these guys. Okay, so there we have it. A bunch of different seeds we got started today. A couple of things I did want to mention. It looks like from the research that I've been doing that most of these require light to germinate, so which makes sense as to why they like to be kind of surface sowed. And another thing is, I did read that a lot of times columbine does not flower on the first year, which is fine. I'm in no rush, so it can take its time. It does appear that these may take even still a little bit more time to germinate even after being in the fridge for the cold stratification. So I will keep you updated and hopefully be able to put out a video next week and let you know of any progress. I also went ahead and started some onion sets in cell trays just to try to give them a little bit of a boost before planting them in the soil. I have some white onions, the snowball variety, and some red onions, the red baron variety. And all I did was I took some soil and planted them with the pointy part up. And I'm gonna give these all water, and according to a couple of people that I watch on YouTube, this should give them a little bit of head start before I put them in the ground in the spring. Something else I wanted to mention was I did pot up some of the dahlias that I got from Sam's Club and Home Depot the other day because they did start to they did start to grow in the bag, and I was afraid that they were going to get moldy. So I went ahead and put them in some pots here, and that way when it's time I can just put them straight in the ground as well. I've got a mix between Arabian Night, dinner plate dahlias, and Orion. And I'll put some pictures up as well. I guess while we're out here, we can do a little bit of a raised garden bed tour. I've got some cute little lettuces popping up. Now I believe this is bib lettuce, but I'm not for sure, but it is just so cute. And then we've got some carrots kind of in a line going down. There's one there, there's one there. I had to go and finish thinning them out. And then I've got several more little lettuces popping up down here. Couldn't tell you what they are because the label is gone, but they're lettuce. Good. We have several carrots popping up. If this is your first video on my channel that you're watching, you'll know that I have never successfully grown carrots before. And so this year I went a little bit overboard because I just want to grow one carrot. And this variety that we've got is Atomic Red. And the labels for the other ones are gone, but at least I know that I've got Atomic Red in here. And in this last bed over here, if you guessed that there's carrots in here, you'd be correct. There looks like about 1,000 1,000 carrots have germinated, which is hilarious because I've never, like I said, I've never been able to grow carrots, let alone this many. In this bed, I've got tender sweet variety. I sprinkled these in on the 25th of January. And short and sweet, and this kind, Shin, I don't know, some sort of variety on this side. But yeah, I have lots of germination, which is awesome. And lastly, my very sad garlic bed where I've got about 60 cloves in here, but you wouldn't know that because I've only got 3 that have popped up so far. So this is where my onions are gonna go because I'm not playing games with these garlics anymore. I'm just going to realize that it's a flop and keep moving on with my life. There are some snapdragons that I started on December the 3rd, and today is February the 19th, so they are quite tall. I'm gonna pinch them here probably today. I hear that's what you're supposed to do to try to get them to be a little bit stockier. Like I said, I've never grown snapdragons from seed before, so honestly, I'm just glad that I've got some sort of germination. This is the salvia or sage that we planted the other day from seed. We got the pink Sunday variety and then the blue sapphire variety coming in beautifully. And these are last year's seeds. I've got one coming through. These were so beautiful last year. I cannot wait for them to get big. I actually might be able to transplant some of these ones. We've got some true leaves coming in. It's so exciting. Got some stock coming in. This was planted on January the 12th. Looking good. Some Indian pipe, which looks exactly the same. These were planted on January the 12th as well. Here's more stock on the side here. These were planted on January the 26th. There's stock and then some Crystal Palace lobelia that I planted. And then these are 2 rows of tall deluxe snapdragons planted a week earlier. This is some tetradill here. This is Russian status, and this is some more of that lobelia. We've got my pride and joys over here, my pepper plants. I only planted 1 seed per cell in this cell tray, and we got 2 cells that didn't germinate, so that is excellent in my opinion. We've got the Sunbright bell pepper, the purple beauty bell pepper, the Keystone, banana pepper, shishito, Sunbright, and then jalapenos, and they look great. I'm so pleased. These were planted on January the 30th, so yeah, they look great. I did have these on a warming mat until they germinated, and then once they all popped up, I went ahead and turned off the warming mat. And last but certainly not least are my tomatoes. that we started from seed, and I think I put 2 to 4 seeds per cell in this tray, and these are doing awesome too. The only one that's having kind of a hard time are the ground cherry tomatoes. They're coming up slowly but surely, but I've only got one. I'm not sure about that one, and then that one, and then that one. But everybody else looks really good. The Roma tomatoes, they didn't do great. They're probably second in line to be behind, but they still, I mean, I've already got second leaves or true leaves coming on some of these, so I don't know. Either way, I'm pleased because I love just when things, like I said, like when I can get things to germinate, it makes me so excited. And that is a wrap for this video. I appreciate you for watching. In the next video, we did start the fence, so we will have progress with the fence, and then I've ordered the new raised beds that are going to go along all of the sides of the fences, so we'll be talking about that. And yeah, that's all for today's video. See you in the next one.